Howdy howdy, this is Crazy Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover my thoughts on the round 1 cutoffs for the new Ronin and Guillotine arenas. So the first thing I always like to do is kind of categorize these arenas, as it'll help me do some trend analysis based off of past results. So when it comes to feature arenas, really there's two types, new or old, and Ronin obviously he's new. He's new to the MCU, he's pretty new much everywhere in Marvel land. Well, I shouldn't say that, obviously. There's a Ronin in the comic books and has been for some time. But anyway, when it comes to the MCU, as well as for this game, he's new. And especially for his arena, he's new. But anyway, with Guillotine in the 4-star basic, obviously, she fits in that low interest area. Given, even if there's places in the game she's interested, she still has some value, especially like going against a souped up Wolverine, can block that with her block his health regen with the special 2, but anyway, she definitely falls within that low interest bucket. And so based now that I've got these categorized, let me share some recent results for these type of arenas. Starting first with that 4-star basic low interest, you can see it's pretty much 1.6 1.6 million. Obviously with Beast there was a slight decrease, but it's still right around that 1.6 million range for the first round cutoff. And then we start looking at the 3-star feature, pretty consistent between 1.3 and 1.4 million. And then when it comes to the 4-star feature, and oh, by the way, coming back to the 3-star feature, I am starting to hear from a couple folks across the community, since the 3-star feature results are being captured across some of the areas that capture the rest of the results that are self-reported by the community. But anyway, some people are saying that it's probably getting closer to 1.4 plus, so kind of keep that in mind with the 3-star feature arena. But when it comes to the 4-star feature arena, and again, these results are all for the veterans bracket, meaning your account's been open for over 60 days. But anyway, with the 4-star feature, it's pretty much around 10 to 11 million. Occasionally you'll get a drop when there just isn't as much interest on a new champ like Annihilus. There wasn't, just for whatever reason, as much interest as you would typically see, or should I say as we have typically seen with the last couple of new champs in the game. So there is the occasionally that may happen. I don't think we're going to see that here with Ronin, given all the interest right now with in-game. And kind of related to that, there's been some data that shows that more folks are loading the installing the game. So, there's definitely going to be more players out there. But even with that the case, that's not going to impact veterans bracket results, as it's got to be 60 days plus kind of thing. But anyway, my point being, there's a lot of interest out there in general around Marvel with Avengers Endgame out there. And so I guess with folks that are playing the game, you're going to probably see it closer to the more standard 10 to 11 versus 8 million. But anyway, with a 5-star feature, similarly, there's some variance between the different cutoffs for new champs. You can see with even Captain Marvel, even though she had her own movie, she was more on the lower end along with Annihilus. But then with Nick Fury and most recently with Human Torch, they've been on the higher end with Human Torch pushing 51 million. And Nick Fury, even though there was definitely some hype for him in the community for his arena, it still was kind of in that 40 range, which I really, while I don't have the other results here, that's kind of where some of the newer champs, if they weren't in the 30 million bucket, they were more closer at 40. There hasn't been as many instances where it goes as high as 51 million. But anyway, now that we've seen these recent past results, here are my thoughts for the round 1 cutoffs for these new arenas. And this again is for the veterans bracket, meaning your account's been open for over 60 days. I think for the 5-star feature, Ronin, it's going to kind of land in between that Nick Fury and Human Torch score around 45 million. If anything, I'm going to say it's going to tend to go closer to the Human Torch than Nick Fury, but I'm going to say it's going to be kind of in the middle right now at 45 million. The 4-star feature, again, I think it's going to be closer to that standard between 10 to 11 million. We'll say 11 million for the cutoff. And then with Guillotine, again, it's pretty standard, 1.65. And then with the 3-star feature, I think I'm saying 1.35, but again, keep in mind that I'm starting to hear more and more folks report not getting the champ at 1.35, but closer to 1.4 million. So keep that in mind. But anyway, with these predictions, it's clearly not an exact science, as even the past results are being self-reported from the community. There's not one place that Kabam kind of always releases the actual results, so just kind of keep that in mind. So given that, I always try to get within 5 to 10%. So I always like to provide a grind target as well to kind of give some buffer just in case these predictions are on the lower side. So go to 48 million, maybe even 50 million if you want to make sure you get the 5-star feature Ronin. Go to 12 million, should be fine. For the 4-star feature Ronin, we haven't seen a cutoff cutoff that high in some time. 1.8 should be more than enough. I would say 1.75 is probably plenty to give yourself a little buffer to get guillotine. And then again, I think 1.4 is probably the floor on where you want to go. If you really want to make sure you don't miss on Ronin, go to the 3-star feature Ronin, I should say, go to 1.45. And again, the grind targets as well as predictions are for the veterans bracket. Since there are many more new players out there as the game keeps on getting installed more and plenty more hype for Avengers and Marvel, etc. Here's the data around beginner bracket as well as intermediate bracket. Beginner bracket, as the name implies, means, you know, that this is a new account all the way up to 30 days. 3-star feature should be fine at 245, 4-star basic at 500,000, and the 4-star feature at 900,000. And the only thing I would say is, with a lot of new players coming, and maybe they're just not used to doing a lot of arena grinding yet, or haven't figured out the infinity streak, or have a limited roster to even get to an infinity streak, what you would typically see, these pools will actually pull the cutoff lower because you'll have more people getting to the point where they qualify to get a rank reward, but they don't push it so high to get these actual results. So these numbers might actually be on the lower side, if anything, than what that I saw just even a month ago when I took my newer free-to-play account through the intermediate and beginners bracket. And speaking of the intermediate brackets, so that's 31 to 60 days accounts. 3-star feature looking at 550,000. The 4-star basic around 950,000. And the same for the 4-star feature around 950,000. So these are my thoughts for the first round of the new Ronin and Guillotine arenas. We'd love to hear your opinion, especially if it's different than mine. Throw it on down in the comment section. We can definitely discuss it there. If you have any questions, throw them down there, and I'll be happy to discuss your questions with you there as well. Other than that, if you'd like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up button. And if you like this and other videos I have on the channel and you haven't subscribed, we'd really appreciate it if you did. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.